Green, everything's green. Audio, yes. Good morning, good morning. What's this? Tea? Coffee is finished. I got up early enough this morning to get all this set up, and I got my breakfast, liquid breakfast. Not sure where I left my coffee cup. Okay. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Saturday morning here. A rainy. I've had to pull the camera back. I put it underneath the shutter. In the usual place I put the camera, it was getting wet, so I pulled it out. We've got the flickering light in the cafe across the street again today. It's something to do with the frame rates, I don't know. Raining again. We've had a very, very wet spring here in Tokyo. Okay, lots of things going on. What we're doing here, we're going to carve today. We're going to carve. We're going back in time. Recognize what this is, of course. This is the key block for the Patreon chibis. Dei-chan has done some wonderful test printing for me. And the 4 colors that we basically had worked out aren't enough. But she found a really interesting way. You remember when I talked about this, we had 2 groups. We had a sort of skin yellow, brown, red size group of 2 colors. And we had a blue/lilac group of 2 colors. And putting them in bang, 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 bang. And it sort of works, but it's just not, I don't know. There's not enough overlays and there's nothing tied together. So Dei-chan, she couldn't print it because she didn't have a block for it, but she sketched an idea for me. I'll pop it up here. She did this in Photoshop as a sample. She said, what if we put a yellow tone block on the print, and it will cover some of the parts, the skin brown, and it will cover some of the parts that were lilac blue, bringing up a green. And we sort of looked at it and thought about it and tried to imagine how it will work in real life. And this is what we're going to do. This morning, we have the back side of the key block. We talked about the fact that this would probably come up. So on the back side of the key block, we are going to prepare some kind of block that will do some kind of yellow tone. Japan just started the rainy season. Here in Tokyo, here in Kanto it did. Some other places not yet. Some places don't get a rainy season. So Japan's a big place. But yes, around here right now, we are very much in the rainy season. And it's not just because it's raining today. We've had rain on and off for the past few months. But now it's the humidity just went. It's stinky, sweaty. And it's kind of a real problem for me for preparing the photographs for the new collection website. All during the past few days, up until yesterday, I had a grayscale board on the wall. Shoot the white color balance first, put the print on it, shoot the actual print. And because it's been dry here, that board against the wall curved. It dried out on the front surface. So when you put the print on it, actually, it's fine. The board curves, we shoot at it, and there's less lens correction needed. The print actually works fine. Yesterday morning, I come down here to do the same thing, and that board is bent the other way. The front surface has absorbed a ton of moisture. The board is bent the other way, and no matter what I did, the corners of the prints were out of focus. Speaking about the collection, try it. mokohankan.com/collection. Bring up item number 18. This is a key. This is just going to show you what we're planning for this collection. Take a look at that page. Somebody will link for it here in a minute. Bring up item 18. I need to do some focus stacking. Are you talking about here today, or are you talking about out there, over there? Focus, yeah, shooting it once, twice, 3 times with a, my God, I don't know how much time I can spend on those things, you know. Okay, there's John's got the index page. You can actually link through inside. The way we've designed this thing, once you've got an item showing, the URL is linkable from outside. That was a key point when I was doing this design. Some of those museum collections and stuff, you can't link directly to an object from outside. It's not embossing on those pheasants, it's kimedashi. If you look at the additional images tab there, you'll see there's a photograph from the back. Once you go through to the print page, the URL really has the full information. Your browser is just showing you the I'm sure it's there. I'm sure it's there. Whatever, I'll check into it. Anyway, the point being, I know it's there. John, I've been testing it and doing this all the time. I get the link with the item, paste it in the browser bar, and go, and it shows in the browser bar. Okay, no, Corey got me here. He's linked directly to the image, but you can link to the actual display page for each item. Can I should get to work here, you know. In fact, I've got it showing right now, actually. Let's see. Search. Click. Item number 18. Make the search. It doesn't show in the browser bar. What's going on? What's going on? It did yesterday. It did yesterday. Interesting. Why doesn't it show today? It did yesterday. What have I done? Here's the sample. That was yesterday's code, yeah. Here's what it would look like. And that's what I've been seeing in my browser. Anyway, I'm not going to muck too much about it with me now. But the point being, the access is going to be there. Absolutely, the access is going to be there. Direct links to every single image. Anyway, whatever. That might be a browser setting, you know. I don't know. Okay, let's get busy here. I cannot just sit here and talk. Is there writing on the back of the print? There is, and this is from an old dealer. I did not write on the back of this print. Somebody asked me that already, somebody in the staff here. I used that print in my David's Choice video, David's Choice ebook that I made 10 years ago or so. And it turns out on the back, somebody has written DC. And one of the staff members thought, DC, that's because you put it in David's Choice. You're writing on... I did not do that. This is from a dealer, some previous dealer. They used to do stuff like that. I don't know, collectors used to stamp their seal on the front of prints. I mean, give me a... Okay, I need to say goodbye to the outside for a minute because I need to see what this yellow is that we're going to so excuse me, I need that for reference here. So this is going to be a yellow block that is going to hopefully bring this thing together. So excuse me for a minute while I get this done, and then we can get busy with some carving. Yeah, somebody discovered there's the museum thing there, our collection. It's going to be as much as possible, very much on a multimedia interactive. 2 or 3 of the items there already now have a video, have a YouTube video linked. I did one. I pasted in some text, some chat. It's going to be very, very interactive. That audio clip that's there isn't something I did right now preparing for this. It's an audio clip that I made 10 years ago or so for that, the David's Choice ebook presentation. So I just copied and pasted it last night into the collection. There's also a few other things about the collection there. I've done this backwards from many websites. Most museum websites or whatever show you something small and click on it and you get something bigger. This is the other way around. I know. When you're seeing a vertical print in your browser window there, you can't see the whole thing because the print is too big. So in order to see the whole thing, click it and a smaller version pops up in your window. So you can always see, when you're looking at any main image, you can always see the full picture at exactly the right size for your browser. But this is interesting. Now, Koringami is saying this will become a reference website, and this is there's a struggle has started now between myself and Rose. I say struggle, I exaggerate the thing. I've asked her to feedback on this, give me some comments. She's one of the people who is helping me build this thing. And her list of comments last night she sent me, this is really funny. I'm not speaking against her, just simply saying that there's a different viewpoint coming up here. Her viewpoint was, just a minute here. What's this deal? What does Dei-chan want here? She wants. I'm not quite sure what she wants me to do here. Oh, hee-haw, 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 hee-haw. I'm not quite sure what she wants me to do. I think that part of it is all yellow. No, she's left some of it white. She's absolutely left some of it white. Oh, I see. She wants me to duplicate this. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's going to be difficult. Anyway, the thread of the conversation a few minutes ago, Rose, because of her background in curation, and she's a book dealer herself in old books and stuff like that, and she is really interested. Let's do, data, like what year was Shunsho alive, and what year did he die, and what year did he do this kind of signature, and what year did he do that kind of signature, and stuff like this. And honestly speaking, I myself, I am not going to take this thing in that direction. It's a question of what you're good at and what kind of knowledge you have and what you know. And our knowledge here at Mokuhankan, I have no idea what she wants me to do here. Crap. I'm going to cop out here. Today, I'm going to carve this whole thing yellow. And then we are going to take away what we don't want, because there's no way I can identify right now what we need. So I'm just going to, step one, put yellow on the whole bowl inners. We'll do our test print and we will then chop out. Looks like the meatballs are gone, stuff like this, but I cannot tell right now. Okay, we got it. Barren, background. We have the barren and the background. The bit sticking up here, the skin here, part of the background here. This is a different, whatever. We got the table, the whole area of the table, table. Background here she wants. Then she wants the roll and then some stuff in here. Dot. Nothing on the fish, nothing on the chopsticks. And then I don't know what she wants here, but we will just do the entire thing of the bowl and take away what we don't want later. Yeah, part of thing. Yeah, the question of information, it's a question of where the information comes from. You look at a website, John Fiorillo's website, he talks about kabuki actors and stuff like that. That's a primary source website. He has researched the kabuki history. He knows that Otani was on stage in 1735. He's a primary source for this. I don't want to copy-paste that stuff. Otani was on stage in 1775. Because we don't know that. We're just copying from somewhere else. That information is out there for anybody to find. So for me, what we're going to bring to the table here is one, the piece of paper, the image, beautiful image. There's enough information there so you can tell who it is and what's going on, and you then go out there and find from the research sites the official research material. That's fine. But we do not want to just copy paste a bunch of stuff that we don't understand ourselves into this thing. And more what we will be doing with these things, I put up, for example, that image of the pheasant there. I just simply showed the back. I am, next step, when we get time for it, I'm going to link through to our encyclopedia showing how kimedashi is done. So our focus is going to be the objects themselves and the technical and physical and manufacturing stuff behind them. So Rose wants to do the Shunsho used this seal to 1772, and then he's changed to a different seal, and here's an example of his different signatures. We don't know that material. So I'm going to leave that stuff out. It's not like nobody has any access to it. Missing color spots on top of roll. Yeah, I think so. I don't know where to put them. Remember, what we're doing here, we're just adding another tone, tint. I'm missing a couple of spots there, and the original color that's on there will show through, giving a variation. It's okay. There's a bit of like the skin tone. We'll show at the top of the roll. I can't match them now. I don't want to match them now, and I don't even care. I have got to just get going and get this done. But thanks for catching it. What was this? The Queen just emailed Dave. What? Oh, no. That's the email. It used to be all of our orders that came in used to ring that bell. They don't anymore. Orders now go to Cameron's stuff, and I don't see them anymore. But there is one exception to that. We need to know here at the shop, when we had a shop, we needed to know when there was an online order for a flea market print, because the flea market prints are in the shop, and they're also, some of them are online. And when one sells online, and if somebody else is in the shop, we're now in trouble. So that message lets the staff, the computer here in the shop, know a flea market thing sold. So the staff checks the email, runs over there, and pulls it out. So within seconds of it selling, if it's during shop hours, the staff can get that thing out of play. It doesn't matter now, the shop is closed. Once I finish the stream here, I will go and pull it and set it aside. But that's why that email was. It was a fanfare, yeah, so. Yeah, a page with links to other resource pages. I guess so. I've been burned by that before. The Museum of Fine Arts in Boston has a huge, wonderful collection. They renewed their website a few years ago. Wonderful stuff. John Ressig's website, the ukiyo-e.org website, has thousands of the MFA prints in there. All the links are broken. Every single link is broken. The MFA redid their database, and the images are still there with the same catalog number, but the interface is broken. It's a new interface. So the thousands of links on John Ressig's website are broken. If you know how it works, you can copy and paste them, change the writing, and then you can access it on the Museum of Fine Arts. So linking to outside websites, I don't know. I should put up the outside here while that's done now. So, okay, thank you. Looks like we're ready to go. There is going to be no spectacular peel today. I'm using a piece of leftover tiny gampi. It's some momme, 3 momme gampi. This is the thin stuff. There's only sort of basically 1 layer in it. So don't get excited about peels here today, please. You win some, you lose some. Today is a thin gampi. I'm not just making excuses before we start. 0, so John's already got the score. Fair enough. A bit too watery there, just a minute. I think I left too much water on there before I put the glue on. So here's our peel, right? Ready? 10 out of 10. Yes, it's white pigment for the rain. That's white lines overlaid on that one instead of being chopped out. That Hiroshige print. There's something else, the print you're looking at there too, that brings up another topic of conversation too. There's somebody who's been making comments to me, sending me information about how to build stuff on the website. I think he's a recorded version viewer, so he may not be here right now. It's the idea about, we have sometimes now more than 1 example of the same print in the database. At the moment, as a test, I've got the Edo Kinko Hakke series, 8 views of the environments of Edo. We've got 2 versions in the collection there now, and I've got another version upstairs. And the idea is how to be able to let people compare one version to the next. Over on the ukiyo.org website, there's a link where you can click Show Next, Show Next, and they come in 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see smaller versions of other prints to get an idea of how different versions might look. We want to do that really carefully. And this gentleman, whatever the name, he has sent links to a framework for doing this. And I really have mixed feelings about this and all. I've been mucking around with this sort of stuff now for decades and decades. And every single time I choose a framework to use on the websites, X months later, the people who have it disappeared. When I started to use JavaScript, I looked around, there was a thing called Prototype.js. It looked great. Use that library and you wouldn't have to do your JavaScript coding again. So I built a bunch of pages with it, got used to how to use it, come up in the news one day, it's gone. jQuery killed it. Great, Dave bet on the wrong horse. Blogger, done. Movable type, I set up blogs, done. Every time I choose a major framework, it seems that no sooner do I get it set up on the website than that's it. Somebody else destroys it. So this young man, this person who is sending me this link for this image layering framework, I get it. It looks cool. It looks wonderful. The JavaScript is incomprehensible inside. You can't do anything to change it yourself. You're at the mercy of the people who are building it. And for sure, it's going to get abandoned 6 months from now. So I don't know. I'm not trying to be negative to the suggestions and comments. But my experience with outside frameworks is really not good, really not good. Yeah, so many developers, this is the way it is. You can't build everything yourself. You need frameworks. Then you get all the dependencies, just whatever. I'm not a full-time IT guy. I can't do that every day. So I'm not going to jump on that one. That he'll hear this, I guess, when he listens to the stream. I am not going to jump on that right now. If it turns out that it does get traction, that everybody on the net's using it, and that it really settles down stably, like the JPEG is now something we all use, then I will use it. But I'm not going to be an early adopter. Absolutely, I'm not going to be an early adopter. So what we're going to try and do at the first level, there's an example of this already. That print that somebody referenced a minute ago, the one with the rain in it. If I copy this, just a sec. Not that one. If you look at this, I'll probably get the number wrong here, just a minute. I think it's item 5. I think this is the item. Okay. Take a look at this one that I just sent. And it's, if I got the number right, it's the same series I mentioned, the Environs of Ado. Yeah, look at burn the whole block here. And there are, look in the additional images section, the sales one. And what I've done is, well, just you can see it. Look in the additional images. 2 versions, and if you click one up, these things they will click to the next, click to the next, click to the next. Once you pop up an image, there's an arrow on the right-hand side. I'm not describing. If you're on a desktop, you'll see it because you roll your mouse over. You'll see an arrow. Click to the next one. Click to the next one. If you're on an iPad, you won't see it. You got it? Okay. So this is what we're going to try and do. And once both images have loaded, so a slider would be nice, but then we're now talking about a JavaScript framework for the back of that. So just simply tonight, for the first chance for this, I did this as a simple first step to be able to see what's going on. It's also not so easy, you know, when you've got version A, version B by a different publisher, they're going to be different sizes and shapes. They don't match up pixel to pixel. So someone's asking why this one? Because we don't need the microscope for something like this. It's easy. I'm overusing that. Recently, I'm really using the microscope too much. This is fine. As long as this is here, it will keep the block in basically the same place. So you can still see what's going on. I can see what's going on. Have I created websites on your own? Yes, I use the jQuery framework is running in the background for the few things that I need on JavaScript. Actually, that collection website doesn't use any JavaScript, I don't think. Oh yeah, the pop-up, the image pop-ups are done with JavaScript. The rest of it's just straight simple HTML and CSS. Yeah, the whole print, we will do that also later, comparing print A and print B and print C. I wanted to try the concept by just looking at that small boat where the people are. The faces. That thing, the 1-2, eh? This is, when I get the third one in, this is interesting. And what I want also, I want to get to the British Museum or Museum of Fine Arts and get an Edo era original. What you're seeing in the moment, the 1-2, and there's 3 when I get it up later this afternoon. This is a series that Adachi published over the years. The earliest one there, the one that's catalog number 5, was published in the Taisho in 1920s. They publish, print, the blocks wear out, it's still a bestseller. What do? You carve a whole new set of blocks for it. And the second version there in the overlay is the 1960s version. We also have a 1980s version, and oh my God, Adachi is not going to be happy that I'm putting some of these on the net. If all you see is the 1980s version, wow, that's a nice reproduction. The 60s is, look at the faces, they're so much nicer. You go back to the 1920s, oh my God, they're so much nicer. There's so much liberty, when you make a reproduction, like, you've even seen me do this with John. How am I going to carve some yellow? Yeah, whatever. A lot of those reproduction carvers, it's like, yeah, whatever. So there's a real chance of degradation and decay as the years go by when you copy and you copy a copy and you copy a copy again. Unless you're really careful about it and you try and go back and take a look and be really, make every stroke count. I've got some examples of some utamaro, the print, the print with the lady with the holding the tea bowl on Oisa from the Takashimaya tea house. I've got now 5 versions from from the Yu-Yu-Do company, and they show 1960s, 50s, beautiful eyes and hair, and down, all the way through the 1980s. It's going to be really fun showing these. So yes, having the ability to compare prints on that website is really, really, really going to be important. We have the same problem here too now. Maybe this yellow. The yellow we did before a blue background here for the behind the person, and now we're putting yellow on top of it. So the background is going to be switched to green now. But where did we end that blue? Because if this doesn't match, we're going to be in trouble. Here it is. Here it is. So we've got to get close to this. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Wait. Oh no, they go right to the... It goes right up to the hand. I see. Okay. But that will make that green. We don't want that. What to do? Same thing. Let's overestimate, cut back later. So I'll put the whole shadow here, but not up to his hand. Am I still doing more complex prints? Yes, absolutely. This is just work that has to be done. The one we did most recently is the octopus print. I carved that and printed it myself. Very, very delicate, complex work. So yes, I'm still. I'm not done yet. I'm not dead yet. I know at some point when my eyes are really gone, yes, will be my full-time job. The reason for degradation, it's a long story, and it's different per person, it's different per company. All those 20th century reproduction companies, the Adachi, Takamizawa, Yu-Yu-Do, Watanabe, there's another big one. The 5 big ones, they all show exactly the same pattern. When the company started, Takamizawa and Watanabe and Adachi specifically, the guy who set up the company was a crazy fanatic like me. He really just wanted to do this stuff as perfectly as possible. He had a good vision. He had an image. He knew what was good, what was bad. He held his craftsman to the standard, and away it went. At some point, he dies. He's gone. The other people think they know this, but most of those, the kids inherited it, and they didn't have the same feeling or sense or passion or knowledge that their father did. And down you go, down you go, down you go. Combine that with the general 20th century thing. Remember, this is just dying. Over the 20th century, it's dying down, bit by bit. All the craftsmen in the 20th century, they were born into the idea that, okay, this is going to soon be finished, so like, whatever. I just need my job to run out till I can get my pension or something. We do it differently, and I'm the same thing. I'm the first generation of the Mokuhankan, and I've got the vision, and we're going to do it. After I'm gone, I have no idea. Can they maintain it or not? I don't know. I really don't know. Takamizawa, they started as forgers. The first guy in Takamizawa, this is before they had Takamizawa Mokuhansha, back in Meiji time, he was a forger, taking older prints, making new blocks to put the colors refresh, or recutting old ones, or selling them with no Takamizawa stamp on the back. He was an outright forger. Then when he died and when his kids took over the company, I don't know, this would be, I don't know my numbers. Look it up on some website somewhere, 1925, 27, 29, somewhere on there. When he died and his two sons took over, two things happened. One is they stopped doing forgeries. They started becoming a legit publisher, stamping Takamizawa name on the back, but that's also the beginning of the end for the quality. Slightly bit by bit, down it went. So these are the kind of stories that we want to tell. This collection is going to be basically about Meiji to modern 20th century work, and they're going to be, a lot of them hugely, are going to be reproductions. And these are the things that the British Museum and the Metropolitan Museum of Fine Arts and stuff, they don't care less. I get it, that's their job. They do the originals. We will take this little one corner of ukiyo-e history and we will show some beautiful stuff. That's why when I was talking to you about the Rose and our employee here, she wants me to do the museum thing. And I am not going to go that way. I really want to make it clear that we're a different approach. I forget, does she want the yellow inside there? I don't think so. I think that's a black lacquered surface. I don't think we need the yellow in there. No. Right, too many questions, comments. I can't see them all. I'll try and catch it at lunchtime again. Crossfade JavaScript. I will look into it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. A well-known ukiyo dealer has an original Great Wave up for auction. Do tell, really. Okay. Well, all I can say about that is maybe. And the reason I'm a bit sarcastic is there's nobody on this planet now with the knowledge or capability, or we just cannot tell. We cannot tell. So much time has elapsed. There were so many forgeries made, even while Hokusai was alive. There were many forgeries, other versions made. And anybody that says they can tell the difference between one and the other, I'm sorry, I know, whatever. Vacuum lady, 8:41. She's a tad late today, I think, is she? Or just simply she started it right and I didn't notice it. Bit of compass, I'm going to forget it. You hear raindrops. It is indeed raining. It's raining, raining, raining out there. You know, this is umbrella type rain. This is not just dripping. Oh, Andy is here. Andy the artist. Got a Baron for your kid yet? Yeah, extra color block, yes. So. The baby is very fat and happy. That sounds like me recently. I have gained, I don't want to show you, I've gained so much weight the last couple of months. So much weight. I'm eating well, little beer every evening before, and I don't get out anywhere for exercise. Fat and happy, nay. So. £10, my God. £10, baby. America's growing them bigger and bigger and bigger. Not sure how much of this is real bowl and how much is shadow, because this is a table color. The table color should go underneath whatever part of this is shadow. But it shouldn't go under the parts that are the actual bowl, but I can't tell which is which. No, I can't tell. So what we'll do again, we'll cut it a bit larger. I think this corner might be shadow, so we'll leave that on this block. And then if it looks funny, we can cut it off later. This area, I think that's shadow. Same thing with this thing. How much of that is shadow? I think that's shadow. The tray itself has a foot underneath it. So this is an overhang, so that's shadow. So let's leave the yellow into that shadow. Same thing with the chopsticks, right? This is a shadow underneath them, so let's cut this now before I forget. We should cut here. Except I should cut the other side of the line, right, Dave? This way. Even put it in bright purple, still easy to screw it up. How's our time? What is it? 8:50. So 8 to 9. People are going to start asking soon, if they haven't already, about show and tell. I have a box on the chair next to me here, which we can open and look inside. It's not official collection type old prints show and tell, but it is something I do have to inspect today. It's a box that came late last night, actually. The guy came upstairs and banged on the door late last night, and it's from one of our printers. It's the printer that we call Suri Taro. He doesn't want us to use his name because he's still officially employed with another company, and people who are employed in Japan almost always, more 99.99% of the time, their employment contract says you will not moonlight. You can't work for another company. They're worried about the security and about loyalty and whatever. Just that's the Japanese way. So if you're an actual employee of a company, in most cases you're not allowed to work for somebody else. So he because he knows we put the printers' names on the prints, he is definitely, and he really seriously said, Dave, just whatever, pretend you don't know me. So I resist because I really wanted to put his name on the prints. But he was adamant. If I put the name on, he's not going to work, period. So we came to a compromise. I won't put his name on the prints. We will make up a name. And I'm thinking that at some point in the future, once he is clear for us, I'm assuming he's going to come to work for us one day, actually. So, some point in the future, when we can tell the story, then we will know. And the prints that now have the embossing, Suri Taro, and at some point it will be known who this actually is / was. Anyway, long story short, the box arrived from him. And this was what I had intended to be an experiment. I sent him some blocks and some paper. And there was a misunderstanding. I wanted him to do a sample test run first with a half dozen sheets, which we will, pay him for his time. And then when I had a chance to look at them and clear and make sure it was the same kind of feeling and mood that I wanted things to be done, give him the go-ahead to do the whole job. He didn't do that. He did the whole job. Garbage truck for the hot dog place now. So I'm tad nervous about this. He works for a traditional company here and has a bit of a different idea about what ukiyo-e should look like than I do. And these prints that are in this box, I'm sure they will be, quote, well done, unquote, but whether they will be Mokuhankan style and whether I can sell them or not, I don't know. So I'm a tad nervous about it. And when the box came last night, I was thinking, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So anyway, we'll take the bull by the horns. We will open it today and have a look at it. The mass printer. We call him the print kid, because Taro, it's like it's the name that you would use. It was a boy's name in the old days, Nanako Taro, or Ichitaro, number one, boy number one, and they would be numbered sometimes. Shitaro, Shitaro was the seventh boy in the family. It was a thing for naming boys like that. So his name for us, Suritaro, directly translates as the print kid, like the Karate Kid, the print kid. And he's good. He is good. He's good. He's good. It's a question of style and what direction to take things and how dark to make the key block and stuff like that. And that's my number one fear with this, that he has made the key block too dark. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Kitaro is the same role. Taro. Kitaro. Oh, yeah. What was the problem with the four color? Yes, the problem, we sort of knew from the beginning, there was no overlap. There's two AB over here, AB over here, and they're like this, and they just didn't have a blend. So we've done a fifth block that overlaps part of 1, 2, and part of 3 and 4. And also, it fills in the table. The biggest problem with the first four colors, now John really sort of did this quite quickly, and I didn't spend too much more time on it. The table area had no color. It was just whatever, we'll leave it. And the print, I saw the HN's test print. I don't have one here. I wouldn't show it anyway. The test print with a white table there. It's like, why isn't this finished? So she came up with an idea to put a color on the table and use that color tying in and blending together other stuff as well. That's why you see it here. This whole table area now has a tone of its own. You'll see, once it's all together, once the printing is going on, it will become apparent. It's much improved, I think. We haven't tried it yet. But yeah, Momotaro, Taro. So it's a proper ending to a boy's name traditionally. Nobody now has nobody would ever name their kid. I don't think so. Maybe in my generation or something, yes, but not nowadays. Have I used toned paper? Yes, a number of times. So. A couple of the prints I published in my Surimono albums years ago, I toned the paper for that. And we've got a couple of things in our Mokuhankan catalog There's an actor print of Ichikawa Danjuro, which we toned the paper for. The octopus we've done is toned. And it's been different levels of success for us over the years. You know, we did an experiment with Ichikawa-san here upstairs a couple of years ago, and we had to throw them away. We spoiled them. I used Java tea, and in the test it looked really cool. What a beautiful, beautiful toned, slightly purplish color it made. But I guess it was just too acidic, and the print started to decay even before we had finished it in the shop, so we threw those away. Takamizawa, like I said, the forger, the guy, you know, they really, really did this. Oh my God. Well, pretty much every print they must have made during the Meiji time would have been toned to make it look like it was from Edo time, you know. So those guys really knew what they were doing. Of course, none of that was documented. They were forgers. That's part of the difference, you know, those two companies I mentioned, the Takamizawa company and the Adachi company in the 20th century, they had two totally different approaches to making their reproductions. After the forgery days were over, I said, after Takamizawa himself died and his kids took over, they became a reproduction company. But in comparison with Adachi Toyohisa, who started his company about the same time, 1920s, the two different approaches. Adachi wanted to make prints that when he sold it, it was as clean and as nice and as beautiful as the original would have been in the day. Takamizawa, when they made their reproductions, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, they toned them. They wanted it to look like this is an old print. They were no longer faking that they were antiques. They stamped their name on the back, Takamizawa Reproductions. But the point was the same. Those two companies took completely different approaches. And coming forward from now in the collection, we are going to show lots of examples of this. I have the same reproduction print made by the Adachi people and by the Takamizawa people. And they're night and day difference. And there's a real problem with it. When you first see them, the Takamizawa one, oh my God, it's beautiful. It looks like it comes from 100 years ago. The Adachi one's a bit too clean, whatever. But move ahead a real 100 years. And the Adachi one made 100 years ago. That's the link I just sent, 00005-005. That was a print clean and white and clear made in the 1920s, which is now naturally toned for 100 years. It looks drop dead beautiful. The Takamizawa ones from that era, which were artificially toned and now have 100 years of real age on them, they're kind of dirty. So it's what's your market? You know, you want the people, when you sell them right now, what you want them to look like. Now we don't tone our stuff. Most of the reproduction prints we make, it's on white, clean, new paper, so be it. They will, as time goes by, develop their own patina. For the octopus print, I made my decision the other way. Although, honestly speaking, what I did, I just went halfway. I couldn't bring myself to really darken it and make it look 100 years old. You can use your coffee, but good luck 10 years and 15 years from now and what it's going to look like. You know, good luck. You know. Okay, I think I might have done all the damage that I can do here. Yeah, I think we've done all the damage we can do here. What time is it? What's time? 9:03. Okay, it's too soon for the show and tell. The show and tell is just going to be 5-10 minutes. So, yeah, so let's do a bit of persuading. We are now going to switch to persuasion mode. Get your headphones off or whatever. We should be okay. The compressor here should handle most of this, I think. But we'll see. No guarantees. We'll try it. So what's going to happen now? It's 9:03, so we will now have about 10 minutes of clearing work on this block. It'll be large work with a chisel, a bit noisy, not so interesting, and difficult for me to talk while I'm making the noise. And then after that, somewhere around 9:15, we will switch to show and tell mode. And I will crack open a box of prints and wood blocks, and we can look at the blocks and look at the prints and see how they go. Okay, let's get the new setup here. I have to move the camera. Should that do it? Okay. This way, here. Okay. Okay, you've been warned. We are going to make some noise. If you have headphones, if you're in a quiet environment, if you're going to sleep, if you're doing ASMR, sayonara. We are going to make some noise. We're still okay? I'm missing part of the conversation, but whatever. Okay, here we go. Nothing on that stone. I thought she wanted part of the stone. No, just not. just comes out. Soka, soka, soka. How's our time? Still okay? Okay, a few more minutes of this. The early years of printmaking, back in Canada before I came over here, my God, I was so stupid. I didn't have the common sense to get chisels like this, It saves so much time. It's just a no-brainer, of course, I just used my little chisels. Choop, 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 choop. It took days and days and days to do this. Is the compressor hanging in there? Is it doing okay? This is now going to give the test. We've moved to a larger chisel. I am really going to whap it now, so be careful. It might, who knows? Limiter, compressor, yes, whatever, I don't know. There's no compressor limiter in real life here. I'm the one who's going deaf. It's right beside my ear, Luckily, we don't do this too many hours a day. It's just a few minutes a day, really, so there's no occupational hazard here. I wonder how all the symphony orchestra players, the trombone players and stuff are doing now that they're out of work for a while. Are their hearing getting good? Okay, there's half of it. Let's just pause here. Okay, obviously the whole thing will go, but for now, let's just do this. We've still got some time. Oh, it's 9:15 now. Okay, show and tell, show and tell, show and tell. But. We have a problem because this box is a big box, so there's no way I can put it up on my table here. So if I take the other camera and point it at the box, that's fine, but then I can no longer see the chat here. And I cannot move the computer because we know what happens when I move the computer. Comments about the collection website I will read later and input later. Thank you. Any and all comments, most welcome. Okay, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? I should have thought this through a bit more carefully. Okay, tell you what, I'll need to sit here to talk to you. Don't touch your computer. I know. But let me move the camera. I'll get up now. I'll move the camera back a little. I'll get the box on the table here. So just give me a minute to sort this out. I'm also plugged in. Where's my trusty assistant? Goofing off at home on the weekend. It's a big box, yeah. It's the set of wood blocks for an Oban print. So there's 4 Oban blocks, which will be fun to look at, and then the what they call the Surihon. Okay, let's have a look at this. I'm a bit nervous about this, but whatever. What I'll do is I'll take some stuff out, throw the box away, and we'll have a look. Okay, what's in here? What print is in here? I know. Many of you know how our business has worked over the years. To show David, I worked by myself for 25 years, carving prints, selling prints, carving, printing, sending them out. Starting about, when was it, 2011, I guess, I don't remember, 2011, somewhere around there. I started hiring people. We opened up a publishing company. The idea being to hire people to make new prints, publish prints, which we're doing. But all the blocks that I carved years and years ago when I was publishing myself, I carved a set of blocks, made a print, sold it, and put the blocks aside. So a lot of the old blocks that I carved 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we're now using those blocks to make prints for our business here. It's almost chocolate egg. I'm missing this. I'm sorry. I'm missing stuff here. So anyway, so what this is blocks that I carved. It was for the Beauties of Four Seasons. Ask Mr. Becker here. The Beauties of Four Seasons, which would be 2004? Somewhere around there? 2003, 2004, 99, 2004 maybe. I did a set of 4 prints, spring, summer, autumn, winter. This is the summer print, which I published back in 2004, and the blocks for which have been sitting untouched for 15, 16 years. Mr. Suritaro has now been given the block set to make an edition of these. So let's see, what's he got here? He has returned to me, Soka. There's the sample I sent him. We'll look at this in a minute. I sent him the sample print, which we'll look at in a minute. And he has inside this box. I am not very good at unboxing. We had better get ready when the silver play button arrives. We need a really, not the old woman. No, not the old one. This is the summer print. Ayumi-san upstairs, as we speak, is doing the winter print. We'll see that tomorrow. Watch the flask. The flask is hanging. It should be okay. Okay, first up, let's look at a print. And then let's look at the wood. This is nothing. This is an old Takamizawa. box. You know, we buy old prints all the time on auctions. And this is a Takamizawa box. Now, the story about this one. Back in 2004, whenever it was, I made 100 copies or so, and then I started my second 100. But there weren't many customers back then, so I ended up just printing the key block and then moving ahead to the autumn print, and I wrapped the paper up and I put it in the freezer in Ome, and this would be in the summer of 2004. The paper slept in that freezer for at least a decade, until at some point we needed the room. I brought the paper out, dried it off, put it in a drawer. And that paper has been waiting there. So when we got Suritaro hired to do this job, I gave him the printed key block. So the prints you're about to see, I printed the key block in 2004. It's been frozen since then, and he has now put colors on it. And let's pull one out of here and have a look and see what it looks like. So this is a 2020 printing. I can't reach the camera anymore. This is a 2020 printing from blocks that I carved back in 2004. And the key line printing is done by Dave, and all the rest, the colors and the overlaid hair, is done by Mr. Suritaro. And I do believe he seems to have come through nicely. And I'm not sure how Kakumi shows. The background to this is reflective. Can we find a reflection here? And Dave's fumbling, trying to find a place where the reflection will show. Can you see it? The background is reflective ummo, mica powder, mixed in with the paste on the print. I can't find the exact right angle here. There it is, something like this. There it is. And this is an Utamaro design from 1790, whatever. And I'm very happy with this. Now, the hairs, can we get close? How close we can go before this fades out. Two levels, there's two hair blocks. Where am I? There's two hair blocks. One is the very, very faint ones underneath, and then on top of that is the darker, denser ones. And carving, when I had to carve them, I had to make sure they matched up exactly. And I think I did my job, and Mr. Suritaro has done his. It's a bit too much pressure. Look at that. A little bit too much pressure on the black one there. I sure hope they're not all like that. I would have expected a bit more care there. Come on, guy. The problem, of course, is you've got to print rich black here, which means lots of pressure, and don't push hard on the edge of the hair. Let's grab another one. Oh. This is what I wanted to talk to him about. I wanted him to do a sample first, 5, 6, 7 copies. I wanted him to yell at him and shout at him and say, okay, let's do this. Yeah, they're all the same. It's cool, you know, the transparent effect here. It makes all the hair looks transparent over her ear. So I know it's going to be a call. If I were sitting here with him doing this, we would look at this sample and I would say, okay, we're close. I would say we were close, but we could do that a bit better. And maybe the block might need to be touched up. Maybe delicately a bit more carve on that block at that point. The printer would say, yeah, carve it off. And I would say, print it more carefully. Just to grab one more copy. Oh, I see what he's done. Soka. I sent him the full 90 sheets of paper. He's done half of them, it seems. They're split in half. Look. Oh, screw these things up. Hang on a second. Just careful. Dave, careful. this is what I sent him, 90 sheets like this with just the key block. But he's done half of them. Okay. I said a few, interesting. Maybe my Japanese was not quite as descriptive as it should have been. So here's what I sent him. The key block with one color printed. And that's where I gave up in 2004. Not gave up, but moved on to something else. So we'll have a look at these. We'll pull them out. We'll have a look at these. I mean, honestly, if I hadn't said anything, you guys would be fine with this. I'm just, whatever, just telling the story. This is how we look at it. This is why we do this. You do a test, you talk to the printer, you discuss what your goals are, what you think is important, what you think isn't important. This is Suritaro. He works for another major company, and in his mind, I'm sure, very much, he's thinking he did a spectacular job. And overall, I am thinking he has done a spectacular job. Look at the gradations here. It's atenashi bokashi. There's no end to where the gradations start and stop. So don't, whatever, we'll have a look at this. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous print. One point I would like to have been a bit different. What's this? so. Again, it's all viewpoint. We are 99% there. I mean, I'm sorry, whatever. That's the thing in opening this up for everybody to see. Whatever, it's okay. After checking, after inspection, after stamping, these will go in the catalog. So probably with our next update, we just did an update message last week. So with our next update, these will go out to the world. Let me put them away carefully before I screw them up, because I want to have a look at the block. No, the reflective background is the original. The Utamaro original prints, many of them from that era, the 1790s, many Utamaro prints had mica background. I know it's, the people who know about these things, oh my God, can I actually do this? I don't know. Tell you what, let's get the blocks out and get rid of the box. Hang on a second. The historical people who know about this, they talk about this. During the era when Utamaro was alive and doing this, was one of those eras where the government was making rules. Too many colors, too expensive, we want to keep this thing pressed down. So the publishers had a lot of restrictions placed on them in that era. And again, I'm not the guy to quote and talk about all this, but that's exactly when, like that video I made last week talking about these things. The publishers and consumers wanting more gorgeous stuff, the government wanting more plain and simple, not consumer culture type of stuff. Shows the original. I don't have the original. I have, this is from the Adachi company in 1920 or something. Not that, where is it? Here we go. This is one of my most treasured possessions. Absolutely one of my most treasured possessions. It's soft and delicate. Like I said, Adachi made them at that time. This is better than the original Vivid Kepi. This is better than an Edo original. Because this was under Toyohisa Adachi, who was trying to make prints as good as any that had ever been made. So here's the 1920. Let's find the same place. Well, what do you know? Look at that. It's a bit dark on the front, so I think I'd better shut up. But actually, it is different. Look at this. Look at this. The 1920s Craftsman, and this is the carver and or printer together. The carving is better, the printing is better. They have blended the dark and the light. You almost can't see where the dark one finishes. This is the perfect effect. These guys were better than what we've done. Here's David. This is the sample I sent Suritaro. This is an example of my printing. The black is not dense enough. Look, you can see speckles. I just couldn't get it dense enough without smashing the rest of it. So Dave kind of failed at this. How was Dave's peak at here? Well, I guess it needs carving, I guess so. So given this sample, I really can't yell at him. Okay. But that's the difference. 100 years, they really could do it. My God, they could do it. Put this away before I smash it. Just a minute. It's one of our most prized possessions here, this print. Yeah, you can't see where the blocks end. To show you can't see where they end. Bear with me, we're probably sort of officially out of time, but you have got to see this block. You have got to see the block. The block for the hair. It's two blocks. One is the key block for the print, and one is the it would be upside down. Let's see. Okay, here's the key. The key block itself. I'm going to get some light here. Hold on a sec. The key block itself. Are we going to be able to see this? I don't know. Here we go. Here we go. Might be better without the light. I don't know. Can we see it? I don't know. Get the angle here. High quality TV production here. Where are we? If we put that light off and this light back on, is that better? Yeah, there we are. That's better. So there's the key block, and if you've seen some of those videos, and we did this before on Twitch here when I carved the hair, this bevels down. The hairs do not just end as a taper, a triangular taper, they end as a taper and they bevel down. They bevel down. I can't get microscopically close, I'm sorry. At the point we get this in the catalog, we will try and get pictures to show what's going on. So that's the key block, the one with the faint hairlines. Then on the other side of this piece of wood, we have the block for the overlaid hair. There it is, there it is. Come on, do it for me, do it for me. What's this? It's got the hair mass and then the other level. And it's the same thing. They are tapered down, tapered down. What's he got here? What's he stuck on here? White. What's he doing? White powder. No idea what he's been doing. White powder on the block. Dave gets his nose close to it. Don't know. No idea what it is. As far as how we do this, we now have lots of documentation on this. Lots and lots of documentation on this. So there we have it. There we have it. So I guess the prints are actually, I spoke a bit too hastily there. The prints are better. They're more well done than I can do myself. And I guess that's sort of the standard here, isn't it? At some point, no, we have to call the printers to do better than I can do. But if I myself can't demonstrate a better example, then it's not really good to yell at the printer. Each hair gets 5 cuts. Cut number 1 is around the base, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cuts. It's the same as I did the hair for the octopus. Exactly the same. Exactly the same. So you are coming to a catalog near you, coming to a web shop near you. Not tomorrow, they've got to be checked one by one, they've got to be sealed, they've got to be embossed. Maybe next Monday you'll see me putting the printer's name on here. It's going to say Horiburu Suritaro. Maybe we'll do that on next Monday's stream. The fan pattern is in Karazuri. it's embossed. The original. So this is interesting. Back in the Edo era, the original Edo publication of this didn't have this. The original Edo one had a fan with a different pattern on it. Adachi put this pattern on, which I don't think makes much sense. So what I did, you can't really see it in the light here. I took the pattern off and I put ribs on the fan with embossing. There's no way I can get the light just right, I'm sorry. So the ribs have an embossed rib pattern on, which when you see the print under a nice light, really adds a nice effect to this. So again, I went back for that. I went back to the Edo original and made mine a bit closer to the original. I don't know why Toyosu-san called for this. Maybe he saw a copy with this. I don't know. No idea. Okay. We're over time. Doesn't much matter. Today's Saturday. I am going to be spending the rest of the day shooting photographs for our collection. Get more of that stuff online. Thanks for watching. Next Monday, I'll be back here, maybe doing this embossing, maybe carving the horses in the snow. Who knows? Can't quite tell. We'll see what we're doing. Thanks for putting up with a bit of a funky setup today here. Thanks again. See you in a couple more days. Bye-bye for now. Dropped my microphone. It came off my clip. Has it been okay? Too late now. It's all over. Okay, guys. See you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.